across the whole series. The junglers are both Diamond 1, both very, very high in LP, pretty much close to Master Tier, as the rest of the team tends to be a little bit lower down between D5, D4, maybe a bit of Plat 1 in the mix as well. If those junglers can get any lane rolling, that lane is pretty much guaranteed to keep on winning. It's literally anyone's game at this point. Whoever gets a lane rolling is going to be the winner, simple as.
Yeah, absolutely. MSR actually picking up for the last pick, the Tristana. So, I mean, when we were doing through a little bit of research earlier, we noticed that he has a few games on Tristana. Would have been a nice change of the Kalista, because I feel that everyone's kind of got his number on that champion.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, Kalista's banned away. He loves these hyper carry champions. He loves his Vayne. Vayne was actually his big pick throughout the season. I think he's actually realised, you know, guys, I can't be the wannabe double lift every single time it comes around to playing in this series. So I'll have to probably hold off a little bit and go for something a bit safer. I think that what they've got here is pretty safe. Tristana, is very, very mobile. He likes these mobility champions that he can hyper carry on. Tristana, relatively safe. He's got a Janna protecting him as well. Really, really solid bot lane for them. Very, very aggressive too. Whether or not Chessbridge and Mazrike will be able to survive against that's a different story, but I do have pretty good confidence that they can do that, because as Chessbridge said in the video, he gets told by his team all the time, you need to not play aggressive, play it passive. And he's like, but I want to play aggressive, because he plays a very aggressive style of chess as well. So it's a bit of a mix-up for him, but at the same time, he's perfectly happy sitting there, letting MSR potentially get baited into a tower dive, having a Trundle pillar thrown in his face, and picking up a couple of kills.
Well then, that's about all from us here at the moment, because we're just about to jump onto the Rift. This is the Game National Championship. First game of the best-of-5 final between the Aston Aunties and the Cambridge Memers.
What a game it's set to be as well, and as in all true NUEL fashion, it begins with a pause, start as you mean to go on. This just gives us a little bit more time to talk about how team fights can potentially boil down in these games, mind you. You look at both teams so far and you kind of think, okay, Cambridge are playing a very much so standard style. They've gone for the double AD, they've gone for a Lulu, and they've gone for a couple of tanks they can stick in the front line to protect all this long-range damage they can bring through. Now, Jhin in the mid lane, not the most commonly played thing that you're ever going to see, but Carney, like I said, has been hiding a lot of picks away, and given he used to be an AD main, chances are he's very, very proficient on Jhin. Wood League does need to be careful here. I have no doubt that he's also proficient on Lux, but if he gets caught out by Carney, and especially with Lemmy Wimpleys coming in for the ganks, that could very quickly spiral into an extremely oppressive lane. Yeah,
absolutely, but that's pretty much what Carney is all about. He's all about those AD carries in the mid lane. Even though he's transitioned, it feels like he just wants to play AD carry still. You know, Corki, Ezreal, and now Jhin here at the finals. He did mention he was going to have a couple of surprises, and honestly, I'm taken back by that.
I imagine if we're going to see him play anything else, it'll probably something be like a Victor, because it's quite a control mage-based sort of play style. Huge throwaway from what he does with the AD carry sort of things, but I know that he feels very confident on. He said that he plays all mids, and of course, anyone in Bronze and Silver will be like, yeah, I play all mids, I can play anything. Bit of a different story when it comes to a high-level game like this, but it's something they can bring out in the future series. I actually believe Cambridge have the better ability to react in this series in a sense, whereas with Aston, as we saw against UOB, their number one weakness was that they don't really have any alternate playstyles in a sense. They have their hyper-aggressive early and mid-game, snowball off that and win the game. If they don't get that, it can be quite tilty. We've seen MSR tilt hard before, frontlining with Cogmore, whatever it may be, just because like, this game's done, guys. We're not going to win anything now, so why are we still trying this?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to talk about Wood League on the Lux. It's a bit different to what we've seen him in the past. Like we said, he's had like MSR, like Jet. They've had a little bit of BM about them for being like one champion, one-trick ponies. You know, Wood League's biggest defender being Orianna. But now, going on to this Lux, he has a little bit more potential to deal that more damage slightly earlier in the game, because he did have that massive ramp-up time in previous matchups.
Yeah, Orianna's one of those champions that he just plays all the time for several reasons. One, utility-based champion. It helps complement the strengths in his team, which is Jet and MSR. Two, shield to Marcus when he starts frontlining, because he always seems to love doing, whether it's on Cogmore, whether it's on Vayne. He's always at the front, so take anything with shield, Janna, Lulu, Orianna, just protect him and hope he just comes out the other side of it alive. It is a more aggressive champion for him. It's definitely something that he can snowball on a lot harder than he would Orianna, and I feel with Lux as well, the catch potential is massive. With Orianna, you can choreograph the Q and the ultimate to follow in to try and catch someone. With Lux, you catch someone with a binding. It's not going to be pretty time for them. And given Lulu, they do have a support to kind of offset the damage that she'll be bringing through. If Lux gets far enough ahead, it's going to be killer.
Yeah, absolutely. And there we go. With game is unpaused. We are back onto the Rift finally. Game 1 of the NUEL National Championship final here at ESL Studio 1 in Leicester. Cambridge Memers versus the Aston Aunties.
I always kind of had a bit of an analogy for how this kind of pans out. Based on what the teams have said so far, you can imagine that Cambridge are a big fort with some big, massive iron gates that no one can get through and say, no, we'll just survive to the mid-game and then we'll come out with our own army. Aston are basically an extremely huge battering ram here. It's going to be, can they break down this passive, defensive early game style of Cambridge and breach through and beat them out in the mid game? Or will it be for Cambridge that they'll muster enough strength through into the mid game and then just completely wipe them out in team fights? Because let's not forget, Chessbridge's positioning in the semi-final was flawless. He didn't die once against Grey Warwick. He's really, really proficient on this Ezreal. And although I know there's some criticism from Frozen Dawn about his skill order maxing, he makes it work. And that's just what makes him such a great player. He just always seems to do really well with this Ezreal. So definitely one for Aston to be watching out for. The question is, do they go with what they said they were going to do and dive him under tower as much as they can to shut out this tier-based lane? Or are they just going to say to MSR, actually, sit back for this first game, let's read what Cambridge are doing, and then react in the second and third game?
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you dive a Trundle, though? That's the question. That's one of the biggest pickups here for Cambridge Meme, is getting that Trundle is making it so difficult for them to follow their plan. But looking at what's happening in the game at the moment, both junglers getting a little bit of assistance from their top laners before they go through to start clearing their jungles. Everything else is going to be fairly passive. I feel like the ignition is going to be triggered the second the jungler appears in lane. Other than that, it's going to be very passive. Maybe eat my words there, is Carney Flexing and Woodley already going at it with those Jhin shots.
Oh no, I feel like Carney believes he has something to prove here in saying, actually, Wood League is nothing compared to me, and he will put on the pressure big time in this lane. And although we've just spoken about how passive Cambridge can be, that's mainly for the bot lane. Everywhere else, things go off all the time, especially when you consider how proficient Lemmy Winplease and Carney are together as a duo. Really exciting to see how it pans out as we go through.
There we go, both the mid laners here, just tip-tapping away. But one of the things I've noticed as well is you're going to have such an incredibly tanky Mazrin K earlier in the game, because he can use that Trundle ultimate, he can get himself those massive tank stats, and then he can have a wild growth on top of it and just run into the middle of the team. He's going to be absolute nightmare fuel for anyone trying to get to Chessbridge. Unfortunately, it looks like someone's already got to him. He's been chunked to half health by the Aston bot lane.
Yeah, equally we're talking about Carney having something to prove. Don't forget MSR has a lot of smack talk to be backing up into this game as well. The Mastery Emote spams haven't started just yet, but I imagine once he gets a kill, you will not see the end of them.
Did he actually have Mastery on Tristana, though? I didn't notice in the loading screen.
I don't believe he will, but then we're on the tournament realm, so it's all kind of reset off anyway.
Maybe this has been disabled with good reason.
And Riot, please disable the emote. Don't want to be tilting people. I remember actually Blue Bear saying that he muted him mid-series in the semi-final because it was driving him that crazy. But this is why MSR does it. He said, I emote spam because I know it puts my opponent on tilt. It's a psychological thing you can do. It's not against the rules. Why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing against doing a little bit of spam to get inside the head of your opponent. Looking at the bot lane of Aston, though, they've already taken control and pushed it up. They're setting up already. If they keep that wave pushed, there's that dive that they were talking about. That's already being set up right now. They keep the pressure on that lane.
I can't imagine they were looking for a dive just yet. I imagine it will come in around level 6 once you've got some influential abilities, and here's MSR frontlining as always. Nothing much coming of it, of course, damage-wise, but mid lane, though.
Oh, let me win, please. He came in for the gank, forced the flash out of Wood League, but he's not got a case of the Lee Syndrome today.
Interestingly, though, Wood League's still got both of his pots, whereas Carney's already burnt through his, and he's actually pretty low health, so the poke from Wood League is definitely hurting him. Not as oppressive, maybe, as we thought it would be in the early game. And don't forget, as well, Wood League still has that barrier. It's going to be, with Jhin, especially when you get to the reload time, it's a good few seconds before you can shoot against it. It's a bit of a nightmare to deal with. Bot lane trades, though, fast and furious coming in so far.
Yeah, and look at that. We can already see Jet. He's doing a little bit of counter jungling. Let me win, please. He's got to be onto this here. He's going to go into the red buff here. There we go, waiting for the smite. If anyone got it available, it's Jet who gets it, lands the cocoon. He's running on some damage. He's got that extra level here. He's in spider form. He's tracking down Let Me Win, please. He might not be able to get to it. The flash comes out, but that's going to be good enough for Jet.
Yeah, pretty much. So you can see how aggressively Aston positioned themselves straight away. Just thought, you know what, 3-man into their jungle right now. We're going for this kill. And exactly what they needed to do. Because on the come out of the jungle there, Jet could have easily been collapsed on by the Jhin. And, of course, the bottom lane. But the pressure from MSR and Andy has kept Chessbridge and Mazrin K under tower. And there wasn't much they could do about it.
Absolutely. Matty Triceps having a little bit of difficulty in this lane. He has popped that red pot already. But here comes the light binding. Jet's from the side. Repel comes out. Gets the execute damage and forces the flash from Carney Flexing.
Lucky really that Wood League didn't have his ult there. That would have been a very dead Carney Flexing. Wouldn't have been flexing for much longer when you're dead, my friend.
You can flex in your grave.
Be flexing them dead muscles, boys. Here we go. Eat into my grave, I'll be lifting.
Got to get those post-mortem gains.
But as it stands now, top lane, Lulu versus Gnar is a lane that I'm pretty sure every top laner has played at least a few dozen times now. Two very staple picks a few patches ago. Nothing surprising going to come out of there. Again, it's going to be down to jungle pressure. And speaking of which, both junglers are currently in their top side of the map. Can't imagine them making much of an appearance there since Matty's going back. But here, expect Nard to fall behind a little bit to begin with. Once it hits like level 9, level 12, that kind of area, you'll start seeing Matty become a huge factor in this game. Then it becomes a matter for Lushlek of, can I save my AD carry? Can I save my mid laner? And of course, Matty Tripes is going to do his very best to make sure he can't do that.
Yeah, well, Lushlek, he's got a very difficult decision. Do I save the mid lane AD carry or the bot lane AD carry? Because they're both going to get focused. It's really up to him who he's going to use it on. Or is he going to put it into making a beefier front line, which is something I'd really want to see happen.
I imagine he'll want to use it on Carney, purely because Carney doesn't have much mobility here. He'll be using all of his abilities, including the Whimsy, to get him sped up as well and get away from these fights. Chestbridge, we know he can look after himself. He's done it so many times, and to be honest with you, even with Masneri K, like he says, he likes to be the force in between the AD carry and the enemy team. Expect to see that, and that way it's just all about keeping Carney alive, keeping your two damage sources alive, as we've seen countless times throughout this tournament. If those two fall down, there's a lot of things to worry about for Cambridge. If they stay alive, they're pretty much guaranteed to win any fight. Yeah,
absolutely. Matty Triceps, he's getting some return damage on here, throwing out those boomerangs. Won't get that second, third stack. But I know, like to talk about when you mentioned about Frozen Dawn having a little bit of grievance with Chestbridge's Ezreal skill path. He's doing it again. He hasn't skilled W yet, and he's level 5. Oh, Gnar coming out, misses the mark, unfortunately. Jumping around, lands the stun onto Lushlek. Wild Growth being forced out. Matty Triceps going to have to back off. He's about to lose that big form. He's about to lose his Hulk mode.
About to lose everything. I mean, to be honest with you, Lushlek hadn't been back yet. He only had a Doran's ring compared to Matty Triceps, who picked up that balmy Cinder. So in terms of health-wise, Matty always had the advantage there. But for Lulu, go back, recall, TP back in, you're absolutely fine. But the same for Matty Triceps, to be fair. He's held on to his TP. He didn't need it to get back into lane. And although he's 13 CS down, I don't think it's going to matter massively. Oh, in the mid lane, though, almost getting a burst down to Carney. Nothing massive coming from that one just yet. Jungler's lurking once again.
It's too early for that, and it looks like Carney's just going to use the ultimate to try and clear the wave as best he can. No one there was under threat of getting executed, so just a little bit of wave clear going on. But it's not late enough in the game for Lux to be able to one-shot Carney just yet. I mean, she was only sitting on a tier and a Doran's ring at the end of the day. It wasn't really going to blast someone off the face of the earth.
Blast you with tears, here you go. No, the tier is actually a really interesting pickup for Lux. We tend to see her going for Loon's Echoes and then something like Umbrella to keep all that damage supplemented through the mana regen. In this case here, it's thinking, actually, I want to go a little bit more defensive. I'll get myself into that kind of stage where it's a fully stat tier, upgrade the item, and then just be laughing with the shield that I can generate. Lots of shields on the side, and to be fair, like I said, they've got Andy in the bot lane and the Janna. They're going to have the Lux W, the barrier, as well as that shield coming in from the finished Archangel staff. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, lots of shields coming out as well, but the amount of damage you're going to have late game with that tier fully stacked, with top of all these AP items, that says to me that Woodley's literally looking to just wombo someone and just put these squishy AD carries on tilt, force out those wild growths, force out those summoner spells, get the shields out, and then you have the ridiculously low cooldown of the final spark, so we can do it all again before those stats come back up again.
Yeah, I imagine you'll see him start to build towards some further cooldown reduction now, so when it hits mid-game, he does have that 40% cooldown reduction. Can just start spamming these abilities off all the time, because they do have that nice poke on their side, to be fair. Obviously, the further MSR gets into the game, the more range you'll have. Matty Triceps always has those boomerangs to throw out, which are a nightmare. It's so annoying being caught at the very end of their range and being slowed, and you're like, oh my god, slowed for 2 seconds, this is doing my head in. It's a nightmare to deal with, but it's all going to depend on how this early stage goes. And right now, it's been extremely calm, to be fair. Even bot lane, where we said there'll be a lot of pressure coming from MSR, there's no CS differential down there at all. In fact, you'd argue that Masneri K and Chestbridge are ahead because of the 12 CS that's sat on the trundle right now. Yeah,
absolutely. In the mid lane, no, let me win, please. Lands the Sonic Wave, follows it up. Carney flexing, couldn't commit to that because he'd already been chunked.
It's almost like there's a few-minute cycle in this game. Now, whenever Flash comes back up, you'll see Let Me Win Please mid lane. Shortly after, Jet will come mid lane and force a flash out of Carney. Same thing, same thing, same thing.
You've got to balance the books. It's like a game of accountancy at the moment with these two teams. Everything is fairly balanced all across the board. No real advantage has been gained at the moment. But that's not going to last very long left at all.
Absolutely not. I mean, as Carney said at the start, he was all this BM talk about what's going on with all the BM that he was putting in towards Aston. Saying I had to Google who they are. I've never even heard of them before. And they were saying, okay, they've got all this big talk basically today, but there's nothing in the headspace up there. Lots of basically a Brawn versus Brains game going on here in the eyes of Cambridge. But it looks like actually Aston are the ones winning that out now as they are positioning and taking this dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. Jet went for the counter jungle, took the red buff, and he's gone straight for this dragon now. Looks like Cambridge are into it, but they can't beat a Smite at this stage in the game. Dragon number 1, but Matty Triceps in the top lane. He's been kicked out from under the tower, but he manages to turn it around. he can't turn it around soon enough as Lushlik picks up first blood of this best-of-5 series.
That's a trade most teams would be happy to take, first blood for the Dragon. Carney has cleanse here, so it's not really a big threat coming in from Jet right now. In fairness, Carney has done relatively well in this mid lane so far. He's held out against the poke coming from Lux. Equally, Wood League has sustained the damage that obviously comes in from that fourth shot from Jhin. Can really, really hurt. Bot lane, though, this tower is going pretty low, considering it's only 11 minutes into the game as well. There hasn't been any 3 or 4 man stack onto an empty tower as we're used to seeing in pro play. MSR and Andy are definitely doing the job on it so far.
Yeah, it's definitely different to see them doing this because they said they were all about, we're going to dive them, they're going to play passive, we're going to play aggressive, we're going to take it straight to them. They have, but not in the sense of they're going for the kills. They just keep pushing the wave in, chipping away at that tower slowly. So the passive playstyle at the moment isn't really working out for Cambridge, but MSR going to eat that traffic cone and still going to end up trading better. Chessbridge getting knocked out by the Howling Gale, follows up with a few more auto attacks. Aston won't dive it with the 2 players they've got unless they get assistance, but they're just forcing them away from this tower. They're going to keep chipping away at it.
They need to be careful because Let Me Win Please is hovering around there. He is just taking Krugs, but kind of there at a very good time. They do have that ward in the tri-bush, so they'll know if it's coming, but Let Me Win Please, almost trying to bait that one out. The ward has just gone down as well. They must have seen that on Cambridge's side, and now Let Me Win Please is fancying his chances, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's still hovering around that bot lane, but he's going to back off a little bit, it looks like, as he decided he might not be able to do it, because Aston, they're going to take a trip back to the shop and invest some of that well-earned gold.
Absolutely, and at the same time be taking away this buff as well for them to take down that top tower. Probably, I imagine, at this kind of stage, now that Lushlik's finished off that Rower, it's only going to get even more annoying for Matty Triceps to stay up there. Scaling up with that Rower obviously over the next few minutes is going to be a bit of a pain. So get this buff onto him, shove down that top tower, make a rotation and start going for the team fights. As it stands right now, Cambridge are 1k gold ahead. That's not the kind of position that Aston want to be in at this stage in the game. Yeah,
Aston a very early game strength team. To fall behind a little bit early is causing them problems. Manny Triceps picking up the Balmy Cinder, working towards that Sunfire Cape, despite going up against a Lulu. Tell me a bit about that, Des. Tell me a bit about that in a second. Wood League getting a little bit caught out in the mid lane, but he's going to scutter away. Still, there's not really the CC to commit to the kill unless they do land that Jhin W.
The thing is, there's good CC on both sides here, but mid lane has just been so calm so far. Look at the CS difference as well. There's only a wave between the 2 of them, and even now, Wood League is back at base, so it's going to be a chance for Carney to catch up anyway and just leave it pretty much dead even. The game is just so calm for an early game. It's really not like Aston, and especially not like Jet, to have such a quiet early game.
Yeah, I'm not so sold on Jet's Elise pick. Yeah, he's forced out the summoners. He has been able to exert pressure, but not nearly as much as we've seen him do so in the semi-finals. So it's a more reserved style coming out from Aston Aunties, and I really don't think it plays to their strengths.
It doesn't, no. In the semi-final themselves, they said, you know, we're not the strongest teamfight team. Birmingham probably are a much stronger team-fighting team. They rely on that early game advantage to take it away. In this case here, it's not really working out either way for them, to be honest with you. Cambridge, like Will and the other guys, the analyst desk said, from Frozen Dawn, the analyst desk, I suppose I should say, they've said themselves that if this goes into the late game, it's probably going to be Cambridge's to take away. However, Aston have dismantled a team fight team in the late game. They beat Birmingham when it got around to about the 40-minute mark in the game. They can easily do it in this game. It's just going to be much harder for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it could have been the tower going down there, just while we were having a little bit of analysis there from you, Des. Lushlik did manage to take up the first tower of the game, took down that top outer tower away from Matty Triceps. So now we could see a little bit of global pressure coming around from that Lulu in the top lane. MSR and Andy, they're so close to returning the favor in this bot lane, though. A couple more auto attacks on that explosive charge from the Tristana should do the trick.
Speaking of which, Jet has come down with that buff from the Scuttler. Sorry, not the Scuttler, sorry. They're going to bring this tower down now. They should be able to get it down.
Yeah, they got this. The exhaust is coming out onto MSI. He's having to jump away. Lushlik is here. Massive Trundle coming into the fight. Jet's the one caught out. Nice Monsoon to disengage, but Jet's got nowhere to go. He's going to drop back down. He's going to flash. Chestbridge is still following up. He has got the Iceborne Gauntlet chipping away piece by piece. Let Me Win Please follows it up, but they kill the spiders. There's nothing to jump to. Tower going down for Birmingham. Sorry, Birmingham. Tower going down for Aston. Technically from there, but they're from Birmingham, so it works. But
it was nicely done by Jet there to go into spider form and block off, obviously, the ensuing damage that comes through. Let Me Win Please caught out now, though.
Yeah, following in. MSR jumping from the side. He's going super aggressive here. Flash kick on the MSR, but he's going to go down anyway. There was no assistance. Jet picks up the first kill for Aston Aunties.
That is just trademark MSR right there. Just thinking, you know what, guys? I don't need any shields or heals. In I go. And he made it work for them. Aston have needed a play like that to get them into the game and just kind of saying, look guys, I'll show you how it's done. In I go, get this kill, away I walk, easy.
The captain, the chairman, he is leading the charge for Aston Aunties. And hopefully that is the ignition we were looking for, and it's going to start to blow up now with aggression.
That's definitely the dream we'll be looking for. But I imagine it's going to be another probably 5-6 minutes until... Well, actually, no, it's not 5-6 minutes. It's 40 seconds until the next Drake. Once that pops up, this is probably the time where Cambridge do need to contest it. And equally, that's what Aston are going to want. They've just started getting towards a bit of a strong point now for MSR as well. Hasn't finished off that Infinity Edge just yet. So it isn't at that critical mass they need him to be at just quite yet. But Lux has finished off that Archangel staff. Definitely going to be the time for them to start looking for a fight very soon.
Yeah, Repel coming out here. Jet's found his way onto Lustig. I don't think he has the damage to take him out just yet. Going to throw some CC, trying to buy some time for this bot lane to come out. Wild Growth has been used. That is such a crucial ultimate ability to be taken away just before Dragon comes up.
I wouldn't be surprised now if Cambridge actually said, you know what, guys, just leave Drake now. We're not going to fight this without that ult. Because like said, if they don't have that Wild Growth, that's a lock they're missing. That's a big, massive health stim for someone that they're missing as well. That could very well be the difference between life and death for someone like Carney.
Oh, Woodleague, he's been caught out, though. He's Trundle Pillar to disengage him. But there's 3 members of Cambridge on top of him. Not much he can do about that. Another kill going over to Cambridge. They're pushing onto the top in the tower. They're saying, hey, you take that dragon, we're going to take your tower.
I can't imagine they want to go too hard into Matty here. He is just hitting Mega Knight and has the ult available as well, so it's always a bit of a risk. Woodleague, though, didn't even use a summoner there, which kind of indicates that he actually had pretty much no chance of getting out that one of alive. But, okay, I actually messed up here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just going to let myself die. Save the summoners for another day.
He just heard, like, hello, darkness, my old friend.
it's like the Reddit, like Reddit montages, yeah. Pretty much so. I mean, let's break down kind of what's happened so far as well with the junglers. We've both coined them as the enablers in this game. They're the ones that when they get a lane rolling, they tend to end up winning the game. They're both the highest MR on the teams, both the highest skilled players so far. You know, Jet slightly more so than Lemmy Winplease in terms of the aggression that he brings. But just not seeing it so far. They've got a kill each. Okay, Lemmy Winplease has also contributed to another kill that was in the top lane. Sorry, no, it was in the one earlier on, sorry, in the jungle, I should say. It's still just kind of looking a bit, you know, it's slow for these junglers. It's 20 minutes into the game. There's only 3 kills on the table so far.
Yeah, 17 minutes, borderline 18 minutes into the game. There's a nice 2k gold lead sitting on the side of Cambridge Memers. That's off the back of the towers and the general across-the-board CS lead that they do have over Aston. So they're definitely setting themselves up a lot better for this late game. But that's such a problem for Aston because, like I said, they favour the early game. And truth be told, we haven't seen that today.
As much as they favour it, to be fair, their comp is pretty well suited for fighting in the late game as well. They've got the poke they can come through. They've got the all-in that they can dive on. If Matty Triceps lands a 3 or 4-man Gnarl, that can be game there and then. If Cambridge play it safe, though, with the poke that they have from both Carney and Chess, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for Aston to deal with. We've said it quite a few times now, but that is just a reality of it. If it boils down to it, it probably will be Cambridge who walk away with this one. So Aston needs to start making something happen now. And this is happening in the top lane.
Yeah, Matty Triceps, he's got that Mega Knot, misses the stun. Wild Growth forced. He's manages to get the Knot onto the wall, throws the boulder to slow. Jet follows up with a Cocoon. The chain of CC is absolutely beautiful from Aston here. They just need one last push to get it flash done, but it's Jet who picks up the kill, denying his top laner the reward.
It's like, sorry, Matty, I know that you're here to take this kill, but nope, it's mine, sorry. I'm a jungler. I need to start ramping up. I'm 2-0 now. That's pretty much how it's boiled out. And actually, Carney, every single time has been using this ult to shove out the wave. Isn't using it to try and execute. But look at the damage there from just 2 of the shots on that ultimate.
Yeah, let me win, please. Decided to go aggressive and had to back out because he didn't have any assistance from his team. But Cambridge, they're trying to siege down this tower and take it out. And they can't clear the waves fast enough here. Lightbinding comes out to Mazvin K. He could be caught out here. Nice Monsoon to deny. Let me win, please, with a resonating strike.
Master K going super low there, being bound in the tower. Oh,
he gets him with the final spark off screen. 360 no-scope.
Speaking of which, Chessbridge in trouble now as well.
Yeah, there you go. He's forced the flash out. Jet's going to follow up with the Cocoon. He's got the damage and he has to switch into human form. Spider form has come out. Will he get in the line for the execute? He gets it! They jump forward with the fangs and sinks him straight into the juicy Chessbridge.
I love the hand actions there. I can't quite determine what animal that's meant to be.
Spider fangs, just in it.
I've never seen a spider bite like that, but we'll roll with it. Akani caught out of the back there, really low as well. Woodleague almost has the final spark back off cooldown as well, so that will be available to try and snipe someone. In fact, I would go for it now and just try and use it before you go back, but he's not going to bother that using out instead. Bit of a shame there, because if he'd just gone through it and thought, actually, let's see what I hit here while I go back to base. I've got a lot of cooldown reduction already. In fact, he's sat on 35% with that blue buff as well. Stacking up quite a lot of it there. Happy for it, like I said, into the mid game to be spamming out these ultimates and abilities, getting them down when it counts, and well, count it did.
Yeah, so it's Archangel Staff. He's got those Lucidity Boots and the Fiendish Cone deck. So he's starting to hit that high AP point we were talking about, and he's gone heavy on the cooldown reduction. As you predicted, it's going to be so bad for Cambridge if they're going to have to constantly deal with an ultimate, taking out the long-range thing. Mazarin K felt the burn that time. Imagine if it was one of the carries of the team, though, and how much impact that would have.
Yeah, the fact it can hit arguably their tankiest member at this point in the game and do that much damage, it tells you the story what's going to happen if they do catch out Carney. We actually saw him get caught out under the inner tower in the mid lane there. Obviously, the ult wasn't up from Wood League, so he couldn't, unfortunately, finish him off. But he put him super low to about 300 health, and it would have taken just a little poke and he fell over on the floor dead.
Yeah, absolutely. Battle for Vision is starting to begin. Lightbinding finds him. Final Spot comes out. Half health him this time, but that wasn't a full combo coming out.
It wasn't, no, he didn't get the full thing down, but it's still, like say, with that nice cooldown reduction he's got, his ult is already a quarter of the way off cooldown. That's just how low it's getting right now. Lushlet caught out.
Lushlet caught out. Wildgrove comes out, so does the True Shot Barrage. Jet has going to have to repel to safety. The Monsoon's been laid down prematurely just to make sure he comes back nice and healthy. Yeah, he's chasing it down hard. The stun misses. There we go. Cocoon's coming out as well. Aston very much the dominant force here. They are dictating where Cambridge are allowed to go.
Absolutely are. The zone control threat that they have from both Wood League and Matty Triceps at this point in the game is just too much for Cambridge to deal with. They aren't tanky enough. They don't have enough items to keep themselves away from Aston without taking a ton of damage. Mid-game, as expected, is definitely going to be Aston's to walk away with unless Chessbridge starts getting to that critical mass. And now that he's hit 2 items, that may well be the point that they're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gone heavy onto the armor this time around. He doesn't really see Lushlik as a threat and treating him like the utility champion that Lulu is. So he's really doubled down on that armor to deal with the double AD composition coming out here from Cambridge Memers. Dragon is going to be the next objective. Lushlik, again, eating these light bindings. He's going to need to fix that if they're going to try and get through ahead in this game.
At the end of the day, you'd rather it be Lushlik than someone like Chessbridge or Carney, because they're your damage dealers as well. But I have to kind of question exactly why it is that they chose to go for the Lulu here. Sure, it's to help protect their 2 carries, but... Oh, sorry, not question, sorry. I should actually... I understand why they've taken it. Taking it because they know that Lushlek is their lowest ranked member. And they actually have Flash coming through there. And they all coming across. Oh, he's caught in!
Down to the full combination, and Jet picks up the kill. It was Chessbridge that was the intended target, but his reactions were on point there to dodge it. But it doesn't matter. They're going to take out that Lulu again. And it's really going to give this Dragon up to the Cambridge. Oh my god! Carney flexing gets it. Here we go. The Astonazis are jumping in here. They pick up another kill onto Let Me Win, please. Matty Triceps is in pursuit of Chessbridge right now, using the Grasp Beyond Undying. He is solo, fighting both these AD carries. He's got the armor to do it, but he's going to have to back off now. Meganar ends, and he leaps to safety. We can see that Wood League's coming around from the side. He hasn't got access to that final spot just yet. Will he take the gamble and see what he can pick up? No, he's going to back off to safety with the rest of his team. Carney flexing, stealing the Dragon out from Jet.
That's what they needed. That would have been a 3rd Drake then for Aston otherwise. But now look at the size of this wave that MSR and Co have got on this bot tower. It's another tower going down there for even more gold over to their side. And they push the gold lead up to just over 3,000 gold now. 3.5k over to their side. A massive difference to what we saw earlier on when it was 1k to Cambridge.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned with Aston. They are getting these kills, but none of them are going on to MSR at the moment. He's racked up 4 assists so far. You've got 2 kills on Wood League. You got 4 on Jet. They need to start transitioning their kills to the carries in this fight.
That is definitely something to look into, but by the same token, Jet is huge at this point. He's got that Rylai's finished. It looks like he's going to be going towards the Zonyas now, going towards the... Actually, is that actually a Baron being started out there?
Yeah, it looks like Aston have started the Baron. They've got complete vision control of the situation. In Cambridge, they have no idea what is going on at the moment. They might be able to just sneak this out from underneath the Memers.
Let Me Win Please has no idea, like you say. He's sat there now, look, just recalling on top of Gromp now. No idea this is going on. Really early Baron coming through, but for Aston, this is absolutely massive.
And there we go. Misses the smite, but Red Team pick up Baron Nashor, and Cambridge do not have a Scooby-Doo.
Absolutely not. I'm pretty sure they're sat there now kicking themselves because the wave clear that they have through Lushdeck and through Chessbridge is going to be 0 and 0 versus when it comes around, when it comes around to the Baron minions pushing down. Good luck coming back against that.
Yeah, I mean, the wave clear, they have got Lulu, they've got the True Shot Barrage do it, and we've seen Carney Flexen doing the exact same thing with his own ultimate as well. But can they keep doing it to these Baron empowered minion waves? I think this is the time when Aston start to really begin the slow choke on Cambridge Memers' small, fragile necks.
I don't think it even needs to be a slow choke, to be honest with you. They've finished off a bunch of powerful items now. Wood League has fully stacked up the Archangel's staff. Seeker's Iron Guard picked up 2 heavy health and armor items picked up by Matty's Triceps, and MSR has finished his second item too. This is a horrific push coming through against Cambridge now, and if I were in Karna's shoes, I'd be really worried about these next few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. They decided to take it to the top lane. That's the top outer going down, and they're carrying on with the momentum.
Ooh.
Flash stun coming out from Chestbridge. The ultimate comes out as well from Woodley, but Matty Triceps with a huge Mega Gnar locks up the carries. Chestbridge gets taken out by MSR with the aggressive play, and he leaps back to safety. Triceps is tanking his tower. He stuns Lushleg. Let me win, please. He's trying to take him out. Cardi flexing on the back line is trying to do the work he can, but Woodley's gone incredibly low. He's popped
Look
the
at the
Look at the
shields.
shields coming out.
He's
It's
still
enough.
alive. Oh, he went down.
He went down to the buff. Here we go. He's trying to find one of them. Andy's the only one left in the zone, and he manages to sidestep all the photos. Photos? Bullets! Bullets!
Cameraman, Jin, new skin confirmed, right?
New skin, April Fool's. What the hell happened to Aston there? They had everything in the bag, and they just overcommitted and found themselves being taken aback by the turnaround of Cambridge.
To a degree, but first let's just talk about what Matty Triceps did there. This is why he works on his triceps, right? You look at Gnar, Mega Gnar walking round. He walks with those triceps, right? He just walked in there, thought, hey guys, time to make something happen. Flash swept the team away with his triceps, and a perfect team fight coming through for them until it got to the stage when they started losing, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But still, a great fight for them, really making use of that Baron power play. Jet and Andy almost being caught out there, but no one's really here to follow it up for Cambridge, and this is the issue for them. Look at the whole team. They're distributed across the whole lower half of the map at this point. They're not really grouping together looking to make a pick. Dragon's up in a minute and for about 50 seconds now. That needs to be another one that they go to fight. These are their only chances to try and make a fight. And Baron should have timed out by then. It's a really good time to have a fight. If they don't get this next Drake, though, I do feel at that point the game will probably have sidled over a little bit too far to the Auntie side.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about a couple of players on this game. Haven't actually died yet. Karna flexing on this Jin, 0 deaths. Elise, 0 deaths. MSR and Andy all haven't died yet. Could we see one of them make the Immortal Series streak?
That's the dream. If anyone was going to do it, I would assume it would be Chestbridge. But obviously now it's a bit like Lushleg.
No, Lushleg. Wildgrove having to be used again. Andy, Jet, Matty Triceps, they're looking for it. Karna flexing pops the ultimate to try and get them to go away. Only finds Andy with a love tap, but it's going to send him away packing.
Absolutely. That Jin ult is always quite intimidating when you see it open. You think, oh god, what's going to happen next? Because you assume that's going to be coming through as an execute. Definitely got them off of Lushleg's back. He did have to burn the ult and the flash though. And again, with Drake coming up very, very soon, that's an important summoner to not have. Of course, flash ulting yourself as Lulu is a huge initiation tool. And he said himself, he likes playing these tanky top laners because they don't have an engager. Let Me Win Please can make catches, Mazrin K can make catches, but no one is the initiator on their team. Here, he would have been that, but he's burning so many summoner spells and ultimates, having to run away from Jet, Matty Triceps, and MSR when they come collapsing in to try and kill him.
Yeah, absolutely. Dragon's going to be up in 20 seconds. Could we see a Carney flex and steal yet again? Will Astons get that coveted movement speed buff themselves?
I imagine they'll be able to take this one away now, especially with the Lux execute as well. You can always burn the ult to try and bring that one down, but I can't imagine Jet's too pleased about letting it slip to a mid lane Carney flexing without any smite summoner spell on his side, of course. Still, it's now spawning up now. This is where Cambridge have the idea. They can say they've got a ward in the pit. They know what's going on. What are they going to do about it is the next big question.
They're not going to be fast enough to take this away. Easily smited out by Jet. Dragon number 3 going over to Aston Aunties.
Comfortable, clean. It's pretty much something at the last 10 minutes of this game for them. I had concerns early on in the game, to be honest. They weren't going to be able to get this mid and early game lead that we're so used to them seeing, but they proved me completely wrong. And the team fighting, to be fair, has had a few flaws in it. The ones under the tower was a little bit risky there. Obviously, Matty Triceps went down in the end as well. Wood League did die shortly after. But they're still they're getting the results that they need. They're bringing down towers. They're getting kills themselves. It's not a big worry for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Without that Baron empowered, though, they don't have the best siege potential, just because of the wave clear that Cambridge have got. So they can keep going away and chipping away slowly. With the Tristana, Chestbridge getting chanced a little bit. Mazrin K eating the cocoon, but MSR's actually been stunned. Here comes the ultimate out. True Shot Barrage does nothing as the Monsoon comes to safety, but Let Me Win Please on the back line, kicks Jet to the side. He's been isolated. Wildgrove comes out, as does a final spot. Lushlick, he's been caught out. Matty Triceps begins to turn this fight around. MSR jumps in and goes huge. He gets one. He's going to go for a second one as well. Mazrin K gets himself Sorry, Matthew K. Sorry, MSR gets the double kill, and Carney, God, I'm absolutely taken aback by this. Carney flexing might go down to the explosive. We're going to see him go off screen, but the mid inhibitor tower will go down.
It will indeed. Another good fight from Aston. Not the most flawless of fights, mind you. They did lose 2 members in the process, but for their troubles, they'll get to take away an inhibitor, and this game is very much firmly in their favour. They may even try and push for the end here. It's 15 seconds until Chessbridge respawns.
No, well, it's Carney flexing. He's going to have to try and 1v3 this fight. He's cleared the wave, but that's 1 turret down on the nexus of Cambridge Memers. So Aston Aunties very much started the beginning of the end of this game.
They absolutely are. I mean, Carney, in fair play to him, he's 3-0-1 at this point. He's played this game extremely well. It's just with the onslaught of Aston that when you have a whole team charging at you, it's like, oh, well, I'm Jin. I have no mobility. I best run away. And he can't really do much else apart from that. You know, when you have someone who's got a lot of range, you can make it happen. MSR caught out, though.
Carney, MSR 1v1 is going to be denied today. We might see that later on in the series, but not today.
Yeah, it's Wood League asking for the 1v1 versus Carney, wasn't it, in the Trash Talk video?
Looking at it, though, I mean, Carney's got a significant CS lead over them, and he's got those items that he needs. This could be a very successful 1v1, but it is going to be the mid-outer tower going down. Cambridge Memers picking up their 3rd tower of the game. Unfortunately, compared to Aston's 8.
Bit of a difference there when you look into it. You think, 3, that's not too bad for Aston, but sorry for Cambridge. And then, like you say, it's actually 8 on the side of Aston here. They've cleared out all the vision on this. They're actually going to go for it themselves here. It's a do-or-die move coming out from Cambridge. Jet is around as well. TP coming in.
Yeah, Teleport is there. He's instantly disengaged Cambridge from it. Their only play there was to stealth it. They can't fight Aston at the moment. But they're going to clear out these wards and go back at it again, seeing as the teleport was cancelled. Manny Triceps is still in the bot lane. Chessbridge is going to get caught out, but the wild growth is going to keep him alive. Manny Triceps, he's on that Speedway Express. Carney flexing's caught out, though. Here we go. The rappel jumps onto MSR. Is in there as well. He's going to take out the kill. He jumps in for more. Someone stop this madman.
Someone stop him, indeed. He's moving forwards now, but he gets the kill.
Get a kill anyway. Manny Triceps has gone through that jungle. He managed to get himself a tasty little assist in that transaction. 2 members down for Cambridge Memers. 1 Nexus turret between them and the first game of this series. Are they going to go for it?
I think they will at this point. We know how aggressively Aston can play. They definitely fancy their chances here. They do have 3 members to contest with, but they're going to go for it anyway. Yep. Chess Grandmaster, they've got your number is what they're trying to say here.
Luxlick's been caught out, so he's in the CC chain. He has to flash out, but MSR picks up the kill anyway. This is going to be the Nexus going down. 16-6, game 1. It goes to Aston Aunties.
Fantastic opening performance by Aston Aunties, and exactly what they needed to get this game rolling. In answer to your early question, MSR played this absolutely fantastically. If anyone's going to be able to go through this series without any deaths, I don't want to say I'm guaranteeing it's going to happen because we know how aggressively he can play, but such a fantastic game by them overall, and I'm really impressed with how well Aston have played.
Yeah, well, that's everything for game 1.